So Cautious Hero Season 2 has been an interesting topic that has sort of sprung up more so now with the introduction of it being in the sort of side story spin-off with all the other isekais all bundled together, as I like to call it, the Isekai MCU. It's definitely been an interesting topic because the fact that that has also been announced for a season 3 and there is a high chance that Cautious Hero will be in it. Nothing has been announced, but it's pretty obvious that it's probably going to be in it, especially with the fact that they spent a lot of time in season 2 kind of throwing those breadcrumbs out there. And I really did enjoy seeing it in the season 2 of it. But when it comes to the chances of a season 2 for Cautious Hero and it getting some form of a continuation, I think the chances are now more higher than ever before. The thing that's really difficult though is kind of looking at the overall picture when it comes to Blu-rays, DVDs, merchandise, marketing, and also the streaming component. As I've always mentioned, streaming components are now more important than Blu-rays, but Blu-rays still play an important factor as well as the merchandise. And I have noticed that there is a fair bit of merchandise for this particular anime, which I think leads to increases in that chance of it getting a season 2. But I think what's really kind of made me think now more than ever it's gone from a source material seller to it getting a season 2 is the fact that the studios are trying to sort of promote them in more unique ways and maybe get them out there more for the viewers, and for the fact that there is a higher desire and want for new seasons rather than just new animes. And I think that's the balance that studios are having now, is they're trying to make new seasons as well as new animes rather than just pumping out heaps of new animes and just ignoring at least 95 to 98% of these animes for getting new seasons. I've definitely noticed that at the end of every anime season we're getting at least 4 to 5 actual announcements for these animes. The only downside though, as much as there's plenty of anime news when it comes to announcements, there is still sites that still want to lie about actual announcements that haven't happened. And it's gotten to the point where some of these sites are actually saying that announcements haven't happened when they actually have happened from the studios and the authors themselves. It's where it's kind of almost kind of like a paradox where it's just like, now it's getting to the point where we are getting all these announcements, and that's why I truly believe that this anime has a good chance of getting a season 2 announcement. The real interesting question is when would this announcement happen? And honestly, I couldn't put my finger on a good estimation of that because things are just kind of still all over the place, and with the ongoing issues worldwide, that is going to slow things down, and Japan is starting to feel the brunt of that right now. So I am very concerned that some things are going to start being delayed more so now than ever, and I've tried to give people some pre-warnings in some other videos, but there are some fans out there that don't really understand the gravity of the situation ongoing and kind of just expect studios to be able to pump out anime faster with this ongoing issue than ever before, forgetting that yes, you might be locked up in home, but so are these anime studio workers that can't work at their stations. Now, unless they're able to work from home, but there are limits to that as well. I think some people also forget that in Japan, people live in very confined spaces, so there really isn't much room to do that kind of work in those apartments. But it all depends on the individuals and the studios as a whole and their financial situations. I just want to note that when it comes to when expecting maybe a season 2 announcement, I think it might happen in a couple of years, give or take, especially with season 3 of the side story spin-off coming out. I think if that comes out and they reintroduce Cautious Hero again as more of a permanent group, or at least in a couple of episodes, I think we could see maybe some point afterwards, or maybe just before it or during it, an announcement of a season 2. And I really do want that to happen, because at the end of season 1 there was definitely hints that there is more story to come. But as to always note that just because they hint at more story does not mean you're going to get a guaranteed season 2. Most of the time they do that to try and incentivize the viewers to go read the source material, because the watchers will sit there and go, oh, there's more story to come, I wonder where I can learn about this new story, and then voila, there's a manga or a light novel for that anime. And that's why I always say most animes are generally source material sellers, but for this case I think there is a very good chance that we could be seeing some form of announcement, especially with the cameo that it played. And as I said before, marketing and actual merchandise were done really well for this anime. So this is an after added section to me recording this video, so I'm adding this after all the editing as extra, because when uploading this video and I was about to publish it, I ran into some, I would say, interesting tidbits of food for thought. And this is something that I'm sure some people are going to shove in the comment sections, is that apparently Mal.com has published on their site season 1 that season 2 has apparently been announced and that it's been confirmed to be in season 3 of Isekai the Multiverse, as I call it. I just want to point out, because I panicked after seeing this thinking I had missed something, that I had failed on reporting on something, so I went through the official Twitters, I went through all the official websites for the studio, the anime, and the writer, and there has been no announcements of it at all. It's not been confirmed for season 3 of Isekai. It hasn't been announced officially for season 2. It seems to be that whoever's running Mail.com has posted a bunch of fake information and just put all these tags together and has just left it like that and hasn't rectified. To note, this isn't the first time they've done this. They've done this with Overlord as well. So I want to note that, and yes, I have double checked all my areas to make sure that I haven't lapsed on any information, but I just want to point that out because I know when Overlord Season 4 had the fake information spread that a lot of people used Mao.com against me and said, oh, but Mao's got it on there as their hyperlink, so they've obviously confirmed it, so obviously they know what they're talking about. This isn't the first time they've done this, and I know saying this is going to get me a bit of flack because there are some hardcore fans on that site that don't like criticism, but that is, sadly, they've posted false information. So I just want to point that out because I know that's going to be brought up. But again, food for thought. And I also did find that there is a physical release for the DVDs, but I have not found any sales either, so that makes it a bit difficult to report on the sales numbers overall. But if you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe for more anime content, and I'll see you, beautiful nerds, in the next video.